You did the research, you watched the videos, you saw the price tag, winced, and paid it anyway. Because look at that face! But here's what the breeder didn't mention, what the YouTube compilations left out, and what most Morkie owners only figure out after the fact. Some of it's funny, some of it's expensive, and some of it will make you feel a lot better about what your dog has been doing. So here are 9 things no one tells you about owning a Morkie. Number 1. Housebreaking a Morkie isn't a phase, it's a commitment. Nobody warns you that potty training might still be a conversation when your dog is 2 years old. Most people expect a few rough weeks. What actually happens? Some Morkies take 6 months. Some trained males keep marking. Some regress the moment your routine shifts, new place, new schedule, and suddenly you're starting over. The reason it's so hard is layered. Tiny bladders that can't hold it long, the Yorkie's stubborn streak, and the Maltese's sensitivity to inconsistency. It's a perfect storm. In fact, one Morkie trainer put it plainly, saying, "The rate at which the puppy succeeds depends entirely on the consistency of the owner, not the dog." That means if 3 people in your house handle it 3 different ways, your Morkie will find the loophole every time. Pick one method, pads or outside, and don't switch. That single mistake alone can set training back by months. Number 2. Your Morkie has absolutely no idea how small it is. Picture a 7-pound dog locked onto a Rottweiler from across the street. Full lunge, full bark, zero hesitation. This catches new owners completely off guard. The Yorkshire Terrier side of this dog was bred to hunt and chase. That instinct didn't disappear just because it got squeezed into a tiny, fluffy body. One owner described their 4-year-old Morkie this way: "He's the most affectionate dog with me and my family, but he barks at other dogs when we go on our walks. Yet, if you bring him to someone's house with the dog, he's good as gold. Totally different." That split personality is the thing. At home or off-leash, often fine. On a leash, in public, with a big dog approaching, completely different animal. It tends to be worse on leash because they feel trapped, can't retreat, so they go full offense instead. The big dog usually doesn't even flinch, which somehow makes it more embarrassing. Early socialization makes a real difference here. Miss that window, and every walk becomes a tactical operation. Number 3. Your Morkie puppy may basically change paint jobs. You pick your Morkie based on that dark, silky coat, exactly what you wanted. Then somewhere around 6 to 12 months, things start looking noticeably different. Most breeders never bring this up at all. In fact, one owner summed it up in a forum comment: "Our Oliver was black and tan as a puppy, but at nearly 3 years old, he's become a soft blondish tan and a silver gray. I just call him champagne and silver." It comes straight from the Yorkie side. Yorkshire Terriers are one of the few breeds that genetically fade as they mature. Black shifts to blue or silver. Tan lightens toward gold or cream. Mix that with a Maltese and the results become even less predictable. Some Morkies go from dark to nearly white. Others settle into a soft salt and pepper. So if you fell hard for that specific look in the breeder's photo, just know that photo has an expiration date. What you bring home and what you end up with 2 years later are often 2 completely different dogs wearing the same name tag. Number 4. Feeding time shouldn't be this complicated. Most dogs hear the bowl hit the floor and it's over. Your Morkie will walk over, stare at it, and walk away. Maybe come back, maybe not. This is one of those things that sounds made up until you actually own one. One owner on a forum laid it out saying, "I sprinkled some Parmesan cheese on the food at the end of the second day and they finally ate it. This morning, neither would eat, so I gave each a little piece of cheese, waited 5 minutes, then offered the dry food, which they ate after staring at it for about 10 minutes. That's not feeding a dog. That's negotiating with a small, unreasonable business partner. Part of it is genuine. Morkies have small, sensitive stomachs and can be legitimately reactive to ingredients. But a lot of it is also learned behavior. The moment you introduce variety to get them eating, you've essentially told them the menu is negotiable. And they will never forget that. Pick a quality food, stick to it, and don't blink first. Number 5. That fluffy little face hides a surprising instinct. You're out back with your Morkie, then something small moves in the bushes. What happens next will genuinely surprise you the first time. The Yorkie wasn't bred to sit in a handbag. It was bred in 19th century English mills and mines, especially to hunt rats. That job required speed, focus, and a genuine killer instinct. Your Morkie may be carrying a version of that in its DNA right now. One owner said this in a forum. My 10-year-old Morkie still chases the cats. Not sure if it's instinct or jealousy, but after 10 years, I've accepted it's just instinct. Owners regularly report their Morkies fixating on lizards, mice, squirrels, and anything else small enough to qualify as prey. The chase is fast, focused, and completely at odds with how the dog looks. It also means small pets, hamsters, guinea pigs, birds, aren't always safe around a Morkie that took heavily after the Yorkie side. The lapdog is real. The ratting instinct underneath, it is also real. You just don't find out which one showed up until something small runs across your floor. Number 6. Owning a Morkie has a long, fine print. Nobody hands you a health disclaimer when you pick up that fluffy little thing, but maybe they should. Morkies inherit a specific set of vulnerabilities, and experienced owners are very vocal about what first-timers miss. In fact, one owner said, "My Morkie has bad knees and one of her back legs is really bothering her tonight. This has been happening more and more often." No lead-up, no surprise, just the reality of owning a small dog with a known structural weakness. Patellar luxation, slipping kneecaps is common. So is collapsed trachea, which is exactly as uncomfortable as it sounds, and shows up as a honking cough that gets worse with excitement or exercise. Then there's the dental situation. Tiny mouths mean crowded teeth, which means plaque, decay, and eventually anesthesia-based cleanings that cost real money. The practical tips experienced owners repeat constantly are harness over collar always, ramp instead of jumping off furniture, teeth brushing from day one, not eventually. None of it is catastrophic, but it's also not the maintenance schedule most people picture when they're holding a 6-pound dog that looks like a stuffed animal. Number 7. Yell at your Morkie once and watch the session end. Some dogs shake it off. Morkies file it away. This isn't a dog that bulldozes through correction and tries again. The Maltese side is emotionally sensitive, and the Yorkie side is proud enough to just stop participating. Combine those two things and you've got a dog that will genuinely shut down the moment training stops feeling safe. One Morkie owner recommended, "Don't yell at your pup when he's done something wrong. Trust me, he'll most likely be confused and it could frighten him more." What actually works is almost comically over the top. Owners describe throwing a full celebration over basic commands, treating a successful sit like a moon landing. And it works. Morkies respond to praise the way other dogs respond to food. The mistake most people make is treating stubbornness like defiance and escalating. In reality, a Morkie that stops responding usually isn't being difficult. It's telling you the energy in the room got too heavy. Number 8. That teacup tag is marketing with no guarantees. Somewhere between the Instagram photos and the breeder's website, people get a very specific image in their head, a dog that permanently fits in a jacket pocket. Then reality shows up. One Boggleheads forum member documented the surprise firsthand. "Our Morkie was tiny at 8 weeks, but grew into an 18-pound stud." 18 pounds. From a breed most people expect to top out around 6. This isn't rare. It's a known outcome of mixing two breeds with no official size standard. Breeders can label anything teacup or micro without any accountability behind it. What actually determines a Morkie's size is the specific genetics of both parents. And in a mixed breed, that math is genuinely unpredictable. Two puppies from the same litter can end up looking like completely different dogs a year later. So what's the practical takeaway? Don't buy a stroller, a purse carrier, or anything size-specific before your Morkie is fully grown. Number 9. Don't let the fluff fool you. The photos make them look like something you'd find on a greeting card, but Morkies have real engines under that coat. The Yorkie side was built to work. High energy, always scanning, always looking for something to do. When that drive doesn't get an outlet, it finds one on its own, and it won't be cute. One owner captured the energy level perfectly. They're dialed up to 12 out of 10 on the energy dial for the first 4 to 5 years. You better be ready for that. 4 to 5 years. That's not a puppy phase. That's a whole era. Boredom is the real trigger. A Morkie without enough stimulation barks, destroys, and turns separation anxiety into a renovation project. Multiple owners describe toys getting gutted inside of minutes, and barking that kicks in the second the house goes quiet. The cuddle dog is real, but it comes after the runaround dog gets what it needs first. Exercise, mental stimulation, and actual engagement every single day. Give them that, and the lap dog you've always wanted shows up. Hey, if you enjoyed this, you'll probably love this video here. And if you hit subscribe, I'll put in a meal to a rescue dog on your behalf.